Right, so we finally have iPhone 15 Pro CADs showing the new design and the changes we can expect. So this comes from Max Weinbach, a pretty credible source. He got in touch with a case manufacturer who had CADs, and so yeah, this should be legit. However, I do want to say that case manufacturers do not get official details regarding the design. They are getting these through sources, and so there is a chance it could be false. However, the images we see do seem pretty legit. And that begins with the redesign, because we've heard all sorts of details regarding the design of these devices, mainly talking about rounded edges, and that we do see with these CADs, but it's not as prominent. So yeah, this very much is similar to the iPhone 12 design language, but the corners are now slightly more rounded. In fact, I think this looks very similar to the regular iPhones. Those have slightly curved edges compared to the Pro models, and well, now we're going to see that with the Pros, and so that's pretty great. And hopefully this does help the Pro Max be more comfortable to use. Now there's no details regarding the materials on the sides, but I'm praying it's titanium because, as I've been saying for ages, the Pro Max is too heavy, so reducing the weight with a lighter material like titanium would be nice. And remember, titanium, while being lighter, is also stronger than stainless steel, so this would be a big upgrade. Also, I do want to mention the cutouts on the device are slightly recessed. I'm not sure if that's some sort of mistake with the CADs, or is that a possible hint towards haptic buttons? I'm not sure myself, but considering there's been tons and tons of reports regarding haptic buttons on the device, I would not be surprised if that's the case. However, considering there is a SIM tray on the device, it is also likely to be a mistake. However, you could argue this is a non-US version of the device. Now, the next big change is something everyone has wanted, and that's Type-C, because yes, with these CADs, we finally see some concrete evidence Apple's moving to the Type-C port, and this makes sense because the European government's forcing this, consumers also want this, and so it's time the Pro model switch to this. However, I will say there are reports that you will be able to only use Apple's certified cables even with the Type-C port, which would kind of defeat the purpose. I don't think Apple's going to do that, and I don't think they'll be able to get away with that. So yes, don't expect that. I will say though, Type-C is a pretty exciting update for the Pros because when you have features like ProRes, it would be nice if you could transfer this footage with a USB-C port, and hopefully, as rumored, this does have Thunderbolt tech, so you should be able to transfer this footage within minutes. Now, as we've been seeing for the last few years, Apple's once again increasing the thickness of the camera module on the back, which could hint towards larger sensors. We have heard about a periscope lens, and so we know the telephoto is going to be upgraded, but the ultra-wide and the wide could also see changes. However, I know some may be gutted the actual design of the module is staying the exact same because we've had the same triple lens layout since the iPhone 11 Pro, and many of you guys in the comments have been wanting a redesign on the back, but that might not be the case. And so yeah, the periscope lens, that's most likely going to replace the telephoto and not be an additional lens like other devices. And yes, I know this is a CAD for the regular 15 Pro, and of course, rumors have said the Pro Max is only getting the periscope lens, but as we've seen with older Pro models, the design for both these sizes are near identical, even if the bigger size sometimes has better camera features. For example, the iPhone 12 Pro Max had a larger main lens, and also the fancy sensor shift stabilization tech, but that did not change the actual design of the module. It looked identical on the back to the regular 12 Pros, so that should be the case with the 15 Pros. And yes, I know we have heard a lot about the Pro Max being an Ultra device and maybe having more exclusive features, but it seems the Ultra is actually coming with the 16 series, and it could be a model above the Pro Max. And so with the 15 series, expect the same Pro and Pro Max configurations, but the Pro Max with a bigger size should give us a periscope lens. Now the flash, the LiDAR module and the mic, those are in the same positions on the back. And yeah, ultimately it's not big changes on the back of the device. In fact, I would say it's kind of a downgrade because I've been wanting flusher camera bumps, but the bump getting even thicker is not great. However, hopefully the periscope zoom lens on the 15 Pro Max is good enough that you can forgive this ginormous bump. Also forgot to mention this earlier, but the mute switch on the device is actually a lot more compact. Not exactly sure why that's the case. Maybe Apple's saving space inside the device for other components, but that's a difference I noticed. Now moving to the front, there is a big change I'm excited about, and that's thinner bezels. Now yes, I know this might not be game changing, but this does make the device look even more modern on the front, and also does make the body more compact, since the actual display is going to remain at 6.1 inches, but the body around it's going to shrink. And that's pretty awesome news because I personally feel the Pro Max is a bit too large, and so if Apple can give us the same screen size but with a slightly smaller body, that would be pretty neat. Now finally, there has been rumors we could see dual cameras on the front, possibly extending the size of the island, but that's not the case. It's identical in size to the 14 Pros. So that's everything with these CADs. Very nice changes and lines up with the rumors. And yes, I know these aren't groundbreaking changes, but let's be honest guys, the iPhone has kind of matured as a product. From now on, there's going to be minor changes on a yearly basis, but as long as the iPhone 15 Pro series are a good refinement over the 14 Pros and fixes all the issues we've been experiencing with these devices, particularly the software, these devices are going to be great. And let's be honest guys, recently with the smartphone market, it's been all about refinements because the S23 was very similar to the S22 series, but Samsung made the right changes, focusing on the performance, the battery life, and camera improvements, and most are happy with those devices. And so yes, we don't need groundbreaking changes, refinements are fine, that's not a bad thing, just give us a near perfect experience. And by the way guys, we do have some new updates. The first thing is a close-up image of the actual port on a prototype iPhone 15 Pro, and more than the actual port, the exciting part about this image is the lack of a mirror finish. We see a brushed finish, similar to the Apple Watch Ultra, so that's great news. There will be no more fingerprints, but more importantly, this could point towards titanium coming to the Pros, which is what I've wanted. And by the way, this comes from a pretty credible source, Unknowns21, and they also tell us there is no Ultra in the works. The Pro Max moniker is going to stay with the 15 series, and these are the code names for the iPhone 15s. Now going back to the CADs, we have some close-up images. The first thing we see are the corners. They're a lot more rounded when you compare them to the 14 series, but also with the close-up image you can see 2.5D glass is on the front, and we've heard about this from other sources, but I'm kinda sad this actually is the case, because as I've said, screen protectors are a pain to apply on glass that's curved. The great thing about the current design is the fact the display is completely flat, and so full screen protectors are very easy to apply. Anyways, that's about it guys, but tell me your thoughts regarding this in the comments. Anyways, thank you for watching guys, make sure to like and subscribe for the latest Apple news and rumors, and on that note, I'll see you guys in the next one.